Isle of Skye, From Chieftain to King, is a simple-looking game with a surprising amount of strategy. We're going to teach you how to play it here on Legendary Tactics. Now, the tutorial in this game is pretty solid in terms of what it teaches. It's a little bit annoying in terms of the text that pops up and kind of blocks the map from time to time and that sort of thing. So I'll walk you through it. It's not bad though. I think you'll come away in a few minutes here and you'll have a pretty good idea on how to play this game. So there's one character, a rather suave-looking rival clan here, and another guy who looks a little bit like Christopher Lloyd or Doc Brown from Back to the Future. It's very distracting, actually. So this is what the game looks like. It's tile laying, as you can see, and there's all sorts of features on the map that are going to count in terms of giving you victory points. So it might look a little bit jumbled now, but in a few minutes you'll figure out how to read this exactly. So it is available on mobile device as well as on Steam on computer. So you can use the mouse wheel or use your two fingers to expand the map. And at the beginning of the game, you just have a castle and you build your map around it. So this is your starting tile, okay? And so we're going to go back and take a look at the terrain features. So there's three types of terrain. There's pastures, which are the green, mountains, which is the textured brown and black and gray, I guess you would say, and water obviously is blue. And terrain is either completed or open. Okay, so this here you can see the pasture, is closed. There's no sort of trailing or open kind of parts to it. Okay, like there is for the water on the same tile. You can see, or the mountain is not closed. So it's so once it's completed, that's going to benefit you with extra points. So the mountains, that's what a completed mountain would look like, and a completed sea would look like this. So you can see it's all enclosed by the terrain. So it's going to be part of the terrain placement. Now, some of the terrain will also have roads, and that is used to connect these barrels you can see to your castle. We'll get to that in a sec. Roads can dead end. They don't have to go anywhere. It can just be a visual feature. But you benefit from connected roads to your castle, as I said before. So in this case, this suave debonair gentleman decided to close off the water section instead of trying to connect the road to his castle. So now there's 8 other features to add in your kingdom. There's 3 buildings, 2 animals, ships, whiskey barrels, and scoring scrolls. So this is what the buildings look like. The animals will be, there's the I think you would say broch, but brochs, I'll say, with my Canadian accent. Those are the buildings. There's ships here. These are all printed on the tiles. They don't move at all. So they've got sheep and cattle for your animals, okay? And there is also the whiskey barrels, as I mentioned before. So those give you more income. You can see the gold coin there. So they give you more income if they are connected to your castle by a road, a continuous road. So the scoring scrolls are going to score points at the end of the game using the kingdom features that we just showed you. So you can kind of get an idea. It's like 1 victory point per 2 sheep, or 1 victory point per broch or lighthouse, or 1 for 2 ships. I'll go into more detail on that in a little bit. All right, so this is how you build a kingdom in terms of this is partly going to show you the interface as well as how you might actually play this. Okay, so we get 3 tiles that we can place at the around your castle at the bottom of your kingdom. So we'll pick up this tile here, and you can see that the game will actually show you where it can be placed. Now we're going to actually place it at the bottom here, and you'll notice it turned just to fit the pasture, but we can potentially, if you click on it, it'll flip to whatever setup will actually work. It won't allow you to do a setup that an unplayable setup. So all right, and so I'll pick up the second tile and we'll put that over here, and this is where the dialogues kind of get in the way, but you can see that the mountains are there. Now if you click on it, you can see I clicked on it and it wiggled a little bit. That just means it can't be played any other way. So the game is really nice for that, in that sense, because it gives you the option, it's in terms of displaying everything really nicely. You just have to click and see if it'll rotate and maybe give you a different combination you hadn't thought of. So unfortunately, again, the dialogue boxes are kind of in the way, but you get the idea here. So we'll just click through to the next part. So yeah, so everything has to match. You can see that the tiles are kind of stylized, but you can see that each edge is going to be one terrain type. They're not going to split them up in a way that makes it confusing or tough to figure out. So keep that in mind. Yeah, it's one terrain type per side. So that's how that's what a mountain edge looks like there. This is what a water's edge would look like. So you can see you have to match them up like that. Okay, and now we'll look at the 6 phases in the round. Okay, and these actually move pretty quick. There's also 6 rounds in the game. So this is each of these rounds is actually really generally pretty fast, or at least a good number of them are. And then there's a little bit of banter. You gotta love these tutorials sometimes, just to add a bit of color. They're chatting away. So phase 1 is income. Every castle gets 5 coins, so that's your base tile. And players also get an extra coin for each whiskey barrel connected to your castle by road, as I said before. So this is all handled automatically. So you can see there's 6 income coming to this debonair gentleman, and to Christopher Lloyd, he's going to get 6. And we're going to get 6 as well. We didn't have this whiskey barrel connected, so we didn't get the extra income. All right. Then phase 2 is draw tiles and set prices. Now this is actually the most intriguing part of the game. The game of Isle of Skye would be rather pedestrian in many ways, except for this upcoming mechanic that you'll get a taste of here. So every player gets 3 landscape tiles, as we did in the first part of the tutorial. And the neat thing is that we get to actually set prices. So we can actually view the tiles a little bit closer and where they could be placed on our kingdom, and that's going to be important in a second. So we can also check a possible tile placement in your opponent's kingdom. So we can click on their avatar and so forth, and it'll show you, give you some information that you might need. So, and this is what I think is the best mechanic of Isle of Skye, and this is this idea of secretly assigning a cost to the tile. And one tile has to be removed. That's what the axe is all about. The other ones you actually set a cost for. So what we're going to do is you can choose any cost you like. It has to be at least 1 coin though. And coins you don't assign can be used to purchase a tile in the next phase. So you got to kind of manage your budget here a little bit. So to change the cost of the tile in this tutorial, with this interface, if you want to actually change this tile so that the axe is on a different tile, you just click on the up button and then it will move the axe around. Okay, so you can see, there we go. Now we got it to move over to the third tile, and what we're going to do is set the price for 2 coins each for these two tiles. So we're going to confirm that move now. So everyone in phase 3 discards their tile and reveals their tile prices. And so yeah, the axe tiles are removed. They can be drawn later, but they get discarded. And then the remaining tiles are there. And now we can buy and sell tiles. Now you can only purchase one landscape tile on your turn, but it is possible for both of your other tiles to be purchased if you're not careful, if the prices are too low. So when you purchase a tile, you must pay the owner that amount of coins, and the owner keeps the money that he or she assigned to the tile and the money that you paid him for the tile. So, and you can't buy a tile that's already purchased. So if your tiles are not purchased by another player, you must pay the cost to the bank that you assigned to the landscape tile. All right, so he's gonna buy the tile from Old MacDonald there, Christopher Lloyd, and he buys that one from me, so that's great. And so now we can either pass or buy a tile, and so we'll buy one from. We'll buy this tile. Why not? Doesn't really matter. It's a tutorial. So we're gonna pay 2 to this guy who keeps also the 2 that he placed on that. So we ended up basically even. And then any unpurchased tiles, we pay the money to the bank. And now phase 5, we place the 2 tiles we have and confirm our move. So we'll just throw these tiles down. And again, you can click, oh, that's not going to work. And so we can move it around, and that's fine. Let's just do that. Okay. And if for some reason we can't place a tile in your kingdom, you will have to discard it. So you got to pay attention, because that could be a huge waste. There's not that many tiles you can place in this game, not that many turns. So there's also another feature with the digital version, which is great. You just click on this purse here, and you can view all the tiles in the game. The dark ones have already been drawn out, so you can take a look at what's potentially upcoming. So that's also very handy. Then the final phase, phase 6, is the end of round and scoring. So this is the scoring is going to have to take another tutorial here, and so we're going to move on to the next one. And basically, this is the final round, and this is another mechanic that I like a lot in Isle of Skye. The scoring tiles work with the 6 rounds of the game. So if you play a 5-player game, though, there's just 5 rounds. And scoring is done in the last phase 6 of every round. And so there are 16 possible scoring tiles. You draw out 4 of them. They're labeled A, B, C, and D. And if in this case, we can take a look. So this gives you 1 VP for each completed area in the clan territory. This gives you 5 victory points for each set of Brook, Farm, and Lighthouse in the clan territory. Each building can only be part of 1 set. So you can see there's different ways that these can be scored. And remember, those are the scoring tiles, and it's basically the way that these are scored. Now, what's also interesting is you can see that the rounds actually have a scoring sequence. So in the first round, only A is scored, this top one here. Second one, B is scored. In the third round, A and C are scored, then B and D, then A, C, and D, then B, C, and D. So the last round will score these bottom 3 scoring tiles. So that is that's pretty powerful. This, obviously it ramps up as the game continues on. So you can see, and actually the digital interface is nice, because you just click on it and it'll show you which ones are going to count and bring up the descriptions for you right away, which is great. And you can click on the round banners to also see how many points that's going to score for you as well. Now, there is also a catch-up mechanism. You can see these glowing coins here, or these ones that are kind of zooming in and out. So VP stragglers get extra income. This is their catch-up mechanic. So 1 coin in round 3 and up to 4 coins in round 6. And a player gets coins as listed on the banner for every player ahead of them. And tied players do not count as being ahead of each other. So if you're behind, especially in the last couple rounds, you'll get a fair amount of income, which is their way of helping you to catch up. So let's take a look at that previous kingdom. So you can see the scoring scrolls. Now they score double because the area is completed, and that is very powerful, of course. And not all of the scrolls scored double. As you can see here, these are with areas that did not get scored here. So, and I apologize for all these windows in the way. It's just something that's weird about this tutorial. But so if you take a look, you can actually see the scoring on each individual scroll, as I showed you earlier. The last scoring category is 5 coins will give you 1 victory point. So if players are tied after all scoring is complete, then leftover coins and then scrolls scoring are the tiebreakers. And if you want to see the history of income and scoring, you just press this history button here. And there's a bug button as well, just in case you find any bugs that they've missed. Although at this point, I think this app's been out a little while, so it should be pretty clear. And if you feel ready to play ranked games after this tutorial, I'd be very impressed. But once you're ready to take on other players, then you can join the queue with that button there. And that's basically the game. That is Isle of Skye, and hope you gained some great information from this and just got a sense of how it works. I love the mechanic where you secretly assign a price to your tiles, and the buying and selling part of it, especially that I feel really makes a very intriguing game out of what is potentially a fairly standard kind of tile placement game. But there's a couple of mechanics in this that work really well. So hope you enjoyed, and hope you'll give this game a chance. Once again, thanks for watching, and this is NATO with Legendary Tactics.